Good morning. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, yeah. Good morning. We've read the Bible today. We also read our 3 passages last night, and those were not filmed because they were meant to be. It just wasn't meant, and so we didn't push the issue. Whatever connects me more with the Lord when I'm handling, those types of things I like to do more than. So as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, I'm gonna have to edit that now because I don't feel like re-explaining what I just said. Like, it wasn't really that big of a difference in like what I said in general, but the message has already been relayed. So we read our 3 passages this morning, and we prayed, and we've talked a lot with God in general. And the reason it didn't get uploaded is because my phone had a software update, and we were blessed enough to be able to get that done and then keep it moving. But that took it took about 20 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. It felt like maybe it was longer, but it took about 20 minutes or so. And we did some art as well. We don't normally do these things at this point in the day. We normally wait until later on because we're not normally like awake for these things right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wake up, but it all depends on like if you're awake. I don't know how to explain that any better. But we did want to make a video in general of having a video in general. Like, I feel like we haven't really talked on here as opposed to, can you even see me? I hope so. The sun wasn't so out. It was a little bit cloudier. It's still cloudy. It sprinkled a little bit. So the sun is here right now. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, we've been really focusing on our tarot readings lately because that's something that had to be put on the back burner so many times throughout our journey. I want to say career, but literally journey. So we wanted to make that a priority because it is. Everything I choose to keep in my life is a priority. You'll hear me say that a lot because I really want to always stress that anything I'm spending time on is something that's really important to me. So, yeah, and for the right reasons. So I've been, focusing on my art, reading, since we now have a library to be in. We've been reading a book, and we've also been watching a lot of cooking YouTube videos. I love that. That's really my stuff. Like, that's my shit. Like, I love it. We've been watching cooking animes, which is equally my shit. Not even equally, better even. Especially when it's done right. Some animes are cooking animes, but then they don't like focus on it too much. So this video is gonna go into the God playlist, but like it'll also be like Let's Talk with Spirit. I don't think I have a playlist that's just about me talking in general, because I feel like, excuse me, a lot of anything that really like comes out of my mouth is like it's guided truth, so it should always be like Let's Talk with Spirit or God. I have to burp again. You know when you have to burp and then you have to like lower your larynx and just talk like this for a second. It didn't even come out though. That's the funny part about it. I'm just really tired right now. More in a physical sense than a spiritual sense. So it has been 2 weeks since we've eaten really anything. However, that's not true because of the videos that I have uploaded here and on Instagram. We had shrimp nachos earlier last week, and then we had El Pollo Loco also earlier than that last week, and then We didn't, I don't believe we ate for the next 2 days, but then after that, the Lord gave us boiled eggs that were heavily salted, which we did tell, we said that we were going to make videos about it every time, but some things we can't always make a video about. I realized that because it's like, okay, this is a taste mukbang type of thing for some boiled eggs. Yes, because everything I eat is always that same type of experience, but like at the same time, um, I'm not always in like a space to be pulling out my camera and do that. But I did say that it happened in the end of reading the Bible a couple days ago, because also the next day we were coming from the library, went to go fill up our water bottle, and someone came up and gave us, he was just like, would you like a chewy bar? And I was like, yes, please, thank you. And he was just like, here. And then he looked and he's just like, hey, do you like do you like bananas? And I was just like, yes. I was like, any food that you want to give me, I'll go ahead and take it, right? And because I saw that he was passing out like the chewy bars, and like they were like in a sandwich bag, as if he was not like a sandwich bag like Ziploc, but like a bread bag, like it was in his cooler or something beforehand, and like that's the end of their trip of the day, because it was later in the day, and they were like, didn't want to take these back, if you can give it out. And I was just like, I'm gonna take it, like I don't care. And so, especially if it's something I like. I love chewy bars. I like granola bars. I like food, but I am really picky at the same time. But I wouldn't say I'm picky. It's more I know what I like. And so I was just like, yeah, because I normally wouldn't really eat bananas either. But the fact that it was with the chewy bar, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just because like bananas, I love bananas actually. I don't know why, I just don't eat them as much anymore. Like I just don't care, but I do. Like it's like a baked potato. When you don't have anything in the house and your mom makes baked potatoes, or she buys a bag of potatoes and that's all she wants to eat, like she'll be like, hey, can you make me 2 baked potatoes please, baby? And so like, throw that in the oven and with some oil and some salt and pepper and stuff, and like genuinely it's the best thing in the world. Like it's delicious. I don't know why, I just have to be in it to eat. Like I just don't get it. Like my mom will make beans too sometimes, and these are rare times too. That's the thing, these are rare times, and like I've gotten used to just doing whatever I want. And so like beans, I'm like, where is the meat? But like whenever I cook for her, she would be like, where's the meat, where's the starch, where's this? But like she'll just make beans. I love her. But yeah, so like I'll know that the beans are gonna be good. Like they'll be pinto beans. Most of the time they're pinto beans. They could be black beans, but most of the time they would be pinto beans. And like my mom always likes to get some type of creative with them and do something with them. However, it's always something that's really off the wall and sometimes straight up weird, because my brother used to be allergic to everything, so she used to have to experiment in that way and do whatever, you know what I mean? And so that has carried on into the cooking of the house, which is fine. It's just like maybe a little too adventurous, mama, just a little bit. But at the same time, it got better as I got older, when she would surprise us by actually cooking something. But like then it would be that, and then I'll look at it and I'll be like, I'm not going to eat this until it settles in for a little bit. Like I'll always wait until like the last moment before I decide to go and eat it myself. And by then my brother has already caught on and is like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna eat this. And then my mom obviously has been eating it and whatnot. And then when I get it, I'll start putting whatever it is that I want into whatever I'm going to do. Like there's usually less salt, so I have to put like my own salt and stuff. But like, let's see, garlic powder, some onions, some like extra, like real, like not cooked onions. Like I really be going in on my dishes and stuff like that. So it's just funny how like we can eat many different foods and whatnot, but it really does have to taste the way that we want it to taste, or we're gonna do something about it. And if we can't do something about it because we don't have like obviously right now I don't have a kitchen, but at the same time, like everything tastes like curry sometimes because we only really had curry stuff, which is funny because my mama never made curry. And I know we bought the curry. So I can't remember why we bought the curry. But it worked out. Tastes delicious. Did whatever we was going to do with it. Paprika, curry, chili powder. I think those are the basics of what it is that we had in our cabinet. A lot of people from culinary school, my friends in culinary school, they would just like make fun of me because I only had like 5 spices in my spice rack. But salt and pepper is a huge spice in general. Like that alone. Okay, not really just that alone, but you know what I mean. Like most of the time, like I like my chicken with just like, I like my I like my chicken with just black pepper and salt. I like my eggs with just black pepper and salt. And anything, like I like cheese too. But like if I was gonna put anything else in the eggs, I would put it in there while the eggs are like almost done. It's pretty, like I don't like things cooked in it unless it's shrimp. I make shrimp eggs and those are delicious. But other than that, or yeah, like those come with ramen as well. Like that's different. But genuinely, I like flavor. And so when there are like different flavors, I'm like, I like this, but like I feel like it could be better, and then we'll do something about it. So I'm picky, but I know what I want. And so yeah, like it does take me a minute to get into stuff that like I already know I like. Like I already know I like baked potatoes. I know that if I get into the beans that my mama cooked a couple days ago, that I'm gonna eat them, but it is usually a last resort type of thing. And you know, oh yeah, and the farting, I don't like that. I don't really care for that whatsoever. So try to stay away from those if I can. And so yeah, when this dude offered me a banana, I was like, I'm gonna take it because it goes with the chewy bar. Like I have to be happy about it. But genuinely, I love bananas. I love apples. I love fruit in general. I like vegetables. They're all right. Not they're all right, but like, you know what I mean. I wanted to say you won't just see me eating on a bell pepper, but honestly, I'm very adventurous with the way we eat things. And so, yeah, going back to the story in the beginning, that guy was just like, after I said, any food do you want to give me? I'll take it. And so then he gave me the whole bag of the chewy bars. And there was like 5 or 6 in there, and the banana was cold. And I liked that. My mom used to put bananas in the freezer, and I hated that. Because then they would come out all, like, literally almost black, like brown and black. And she would use them. And, like, now that I'm older, I'm like, I understand it a lot more. But I'm like, dang, you did a lot with that. Like, even this wasn't even, like, brown. Like, it was brown, but the inside was so beautiful. Like, it was a very well kept banana on the inside. I liked it. It was crisp enough. I liked it a lot. It was delicious. And then he gave me a water bottle of fresh, like not as fresh as this water could have been, because it's a Powerade jug, but like, you know, you have to drink the Powerade jug in order to put water in it. But it was from like May of this year, so I'm assuming that it has definitely been washed. It tasted great. It tasted very fresh. I liked it. And so, and also it's a lot like shorter in stature than the water bottle I had last. So, and I have no problem switching out water bottles. And I didn't really choose to accept the water bottle or not. God kind of like, when God wants me to have something, he's like, here you go. And I get the energy of, okay, I'm taking this. And if it's for me, it's for me. Get out of my face. So, I wanted to use the word we devoured those chewy bars, but what really happened is the main difference in us not eating now is that we feel good. Like, really the only change is that I can physically tell that I'm tired, but at the same time with a lot of energy in general. I don't know how to explain that, but I know what it feels like. And I'm really good at losing weight and gaining weight healthfully because of what I do and the reasons why they're, like why I'm not eating or eating more and whatnot. Which is funny because before God, it was not like that. It was not like that at all. It was so hard to lose weight, and I always thought I was fat. But I think it's like, well, I don't, yeah, I kind of thought I was fat, but like not fat, fat. I knew what I had. But definitely always felt like I had a little bit too much. But like the only time that I could actually see that I was smaller or bigger in any type of way was when my pants didn't fit anymore because my butt got bigger. That's literally the thing. Like I would get bigger, but my butt would just get bigger, and I always stayed the same shape. So like I didn't even really know what was happening. And so that's why I always ask people, like, what do I look like to you? Or like I'll ask people to describe me because I like to know now that I'm at this stage in my life, because I know who I am and what I look like and stuff. And still genuinely, I feel as if my body is more, I'm definitely like, okay, I love everything about it. I know what its capabilities are going to be in the future because we've manifested what we have so far in general. And on top of that, like, I'm just really good at knowing what I look like now and what looks good on me, and, like carrying myself the way that I should carry myself. But, oh, no, you didn't. Rude. So I'm really good at carrying. When you're just, enjoying your day, and then like a gnat of some sort decides to like land on your eyelash, not get in your eye, not get in your face, land on your eyelash. So anyway, and so yeah, like now I know what I look like, but since my body has changed so much throughout this journey simply because of fasting and in different, like just in general, like different conditions that have made me to have not as much food as I normally have. Like since coming to LA, this is the most period of time where I've eaten food genuinely almost every day, except for literally when the fast season starts coming through. And I don't mean like everybody else's fast season, I mean ours. Like it happens during a lot of different cycles of what's happening. I don't want to say every cycle because I really don't want to keep manifesting that, but at the same time I think it kind of is during every cycle of like clearing things out in general, like clearing out different energies and whatnot. But it'll happen probably after I do that. Actually, there's no real time period on when it happens. I just know when it happens, and it is definitely like probably once a cycle. And there will be like a period of time where I'll be fed every day, and then there'll be a period of time where I'm fasting, and it's just such an interesting concept. So this is like the first time where I'm just like, okay, I'm really happy that we're genuinely in a good mood, but genuinely also my spirit is constantly like continually talking to the Lord, like, please Lord, feed us today. Please Lord, give us food today, because this isn't something that I enjoy. Like I don't enjoy fasting, but I don't enjoy fasting because I didn't choose to fast, and I did not choose to fast like this. Like I read up on fasting before any of this even happened because it interests me. But in general, you get to drink green tea during fast and don't eat rich foods in general. Like you have like a selection of things that you can eat if you choose to eat, and if you don't, you don't. And like, so I just like options. I like choices. I would feel better about fasting if I was able to, handle everything that I want to handle on the normal, and then just be like, okay, I'm going to set this day away because I want to fast, or like maybe even a week. But at the same time, fasting is different for all types of people. And when you eat more, you feel it a lot more when you stop eating. So I don't plan on making my fasts as long as they are naturally in general, because the Lord knows I hate that. I hate it because I love food. I've expressed it openly how much I love food. It has definitely, I've definitely made like a better, there. I've definitely made like a better opinion of what food is to me, because God wants to make sure that you put him first. Like, man shall not live on bread alone. Um, for obvious reasons, but quite literally, I am surviving on the word of the Lord, and have been in general. Like, everything we do already screams that we do that, but like, I've never went into detail about it because people automatically just feel sorry for us, like they feel bad or whatever. And like, I didn't come here for pity. If you really want to help me out, just give me some daggone food. But at the same time, there are times that we've had to say no to food because it was a test from the Lord to see what was gonna how we were gonna handle it. Can you leave? I do get a lot more irritated when I don't eat. The term hangry is not really me. I'm more likely to be a very grumpy person if I'm tired, but like, also, like, I'll probably be laughing about everything because everything's funny at that time when you're sleepy. So it depends, but like, yeah, that irritates me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, because someone that had really good energy, the Lord put it on his heart to go and get me like a chimichanga, like it was a big one. This was back in Fresno before I came here, and that point in time, that was when we were going through a fast, but it was like a situation change. Yeah, that's what happens. It's like there's like a whole set change of what happens in the energies in general. Like, that's usually when we fast. There is a set time. We just don't always know how to pinpoint it because we kind of like to try to run away from it because we don't like fasting. And if we did like fasting, it really would be because we want to, or like we're able to be comfortable in our house, you know what I mean? Like those types of things. But the energy of the situation is meant to get to me. It is meant for me to back myself into a wall and to rely on God with my whole heart and soul, even more so than normal, because you really could do a lot of things instead of, just not eating, because there are many different ways for me to gain food. However, since we know what we're supposed to do, we know where our path is, we always, at every point in time, we know where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there, because we naturally do so. Like, we are guided by spirit, we are guided by the Lord, but we are active in our human experience, but we are naturally out of harm's way. We are naturally, like, everything in our life is naturally just perfect because we live in our light. And everybody's life is made that way. However, with us, we're able to see it that way, so we're able to understand things a lot better, which is how I even can tell you why any of that is, like as linear as it is or chronological as it is. There we go. That makes sense. So, like, there is this place called Sweet Jill's on I don't want to call this the Strip because it's not the Strip, but there's a place called Sweet Jill's. And when I first got here, I had to figure out like what we were gonna do. And genuinely, okay, how do we go backwards? I don't even know how to go backwards with this. So we'll just tell it as it is, and then we'll go backwards when we need to. So at probably 7 or 8, depending on how much they're throwing out and how much they're not throwing out, dumpster diving. That's something that we got into when we were in Fresno, and we got into it at a later time. Okay, so literally the night before we left to come here to LA in general, we finally decided that we were going to go and try something new because we were starving and we were not happy about the situation because we had to say no to somebody giving us that chimichanga and the Arizona iced tea. But he had helped us out before. He had saw us and he had went and got that for us, and we were so grateful we were able to accept it. But we had to refuse it the second time because it was a different part of our lesson, different part of our cycle. Depend on the Lord, not in man. And everybody likes to say, like, the Lord will send, man to help you and whatnot. But I know what I'm doing. Like, I know when my energy is specifically saying, don't do it. And so I don't. And so it was so hard for me because, one, he had really good energy and he genuinely wanted to help us out. And we also didn't have really anything else on us at that time. Like, we had to throw everything away. We had to start over. When I say we've started over so many times, it is because we are really into the energies. We understand when God is like, okay, this is about to get replaced or this needs to be thrown away. It's called clearing out your energy and understanding that you cannot bring stuff in if things are not living up to their potential. And none of that stuff was stuff that I bought. Like, this is all stuff that I bought now around with me, including my phone. I don't feel like this stuff is going to slip out of my hands because I didn't rely on other people to gain it. We worked really hard for this and we were able to receive it and keep it. It's functioning the way that it's supposed to function. And literally, I'm having a lot more fun at this time in my life. And once you keep going through your cycles, you upgrade each time. And so we've been allowed to upgrade in multiple different ways. That is why we always change. And it is because we're on the energy of change. My birth time literally adds up to a 5. Yeah. And so... Oh yeah, which is the energy of change for those that don't know. What the heck was that? Was that a notification? I just had a software update and I've never seen that before. I didn't know what that was. That's cool. I'm gonna have to look into that. Lookity-doo up in that. So yeah, so we had to say no to that. However, it was really the Lord, basically, because he knows what I'm gonna do. He knows what I'm gonna say. Obviously, this is a whole thing, right? Whole thing. There's so many ins and outs of that, but we all know how that works. And I was just like, you know what, Lord, I'm sorry if you feel like I'm going to betray you right now, but I cannot deal with this right now. And I'm hungry. I am starving. And so I'm going to go and do something about it. So, and this was because this was actually a lot harder for me because we had the clothes on our back, which was sweater and sweatpants and whatnot, and like we always try to make sure it's cute, but like once, like it would be hotter in the day, like in general. This was in November, so it would be hotter in the day in general, and then at night it would be like freezing cold, like freezing cold. And we had Nike flip flops, and we had a lot of socks. We had enough socks, but like we were freezing. And it was like the sweater, like it was a very nice sweater. The person that gave me the chimichanga gave me that the next day. And then he had checked on us like the next week, because he could tell that we're not just doing nothing, but like at the same time, like, his spirit felt called to do so. And so then, like it had like fur on the back as well. Like it was a nice suit. Like it was cute. I was able to wear it like I wanted to. Like I would drape it down the sides and whatnot. I'm like, oh, it's summertime. But like it was just a little bit hotter than summertime. I don't smoke those. So it was like a nice, it was just a nice outfit in general. Like it was cute. And nobody knew at night that I just really struggled a lot to be able to go to sleep. And so instead of, like if I was eating, there's always something that gets taken away. And I'm just like, if this was happening, then this would not be so bad for me. Like, and it usually is like, okay, I'm freezing right now, but I'm also really hungry. And that's not helping because I'm losing weight because of that. And so like the bones, like the bones are not having, enough meat, as much meat as they could definitely have. And so like, I'm not living for this whatsoever. And I know that the Lord really just wanted me to understand myself in many different ways and to obey him in different ways as well, because he was teaching me how to stand on my own throughout this whole thing. And he kept doing so, and that makes me really happy. So that one, like the night before we came here, we ended up, well, not the night before we came here, because we spent like three days with my friend who brought us here. So the night before we did that, we were like, okay, we're gonna go do this, right? Because beforehand, we learned that the donut shop has donuts that they throw out, probably at 5 a.m. and stuff like that. But your girl is not gonna give at 5 a.m. to go nowhere. Like I've always gone to sleep and then I wake up in the morning, and that's how it goes. And so I was already keen to eating stuff that was good enough for my standards, especially as a culinary chef, like student like I'm not even a student, I graduated, we are established. We could definitely work on that in the future, and that is making me very happy because I'm waiting to cook a lot of stuff. However, not the point here. I'm very keen to a lot of things that, and once you know things, it's like WebMD, where you are like, okay, I have this symptoms, this is going to be my symptoms and stuff, and then you start having it because you believe it, you manifest it. And that's the whole thing with a lot of things. We're not going to get into that, but specifically, I'm just like, I know that if I don't make it a big deal because I understand that it was given to me in a safe amount of time. Like I've had chicken from Chester's Chicken, and it was thrown out probably at night or in the morning, and it was brought to me within the day. So like it was like day old chicken, and you are not supposed to do that at all. I don't care. And I've not really known that growing up, like that you got to cook chicken all the way to 165. Like I learned how to cook in culinary school, which makes it even more ingrained in me that, certain things are certain things. And I was really good at my tests and stuff like that. So like smart kid, right? So naturally we do things better because of that. If you gotta fudge some things, you gotta fudge some things, but like, not chicken. Like I don't cook my bacon all the way through. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I love my bacon the way I love my bacon. But in order to eat pork in general, you gotta cook it to a certain amount of time anyway. And so like I like what I like. Beef, that's different. Beef is just different for me. Like that has variances in it. But like chicken, now that I know, and I know that it can still be juicy by like if you cook it right and stuff, beautiful. Duck breast, I love it, and I don't cook it a lot. Like I cook it just enough. I love duck breast. So anyway, that being said, I'm no stranger to these things. However, or sushi. Like I used to think that food poisoning was a part of just going to eat sushi, and thus we would get food poisoning every time we would go and eat sushi. But like it was kind of fun. It was part of the experience. Me and my I hate calling people my best friend now because like they are so important to me, but they irritate me. But anyway, me and my best friend, we would like make a field trip. It would be every once in a while field trip, but it was kind of like tradition. We'll go and eat sushi. And so then after that, they were like, okay, food poisoning. And like we would just cue it on. Like we were expecting it. Like it would be fun. And so, yeah, like it just wasn't a big deal for me in general. Like I'm always used to pushing my body to the limits. And I've shared a story in which God was like, okay, you're human. So this is after I've started teaching myself that I am in fact a human woman, that just because you can do a lot of things that you want to do when you want to do them and whatnot does not mean you shouldn't, be kind to yourself. And so I was very vulnerable as a person at this point, to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm actively taking care of my body. I'm actively knowing more about what it means to be, good to myself. And so me putting myself in these situations, I did it out of love for myself and for my belly. So if God didn't feel like it was best for me to do so, he wouldn't have brought it to me, and I would not have said yes. We always read the energy of the situation. So yes, Chester's Chicken, trash, but like it was probably that's what it comes in. Like it'll have like it'll be like in a box. You know how people normally throw things away? They'll put it in a box, or they'll put it in bags, or it's like a bunch of bags that they had already pre-done, and then they had to throw those away as well. And like if it's not, if it ain't got no other type of food on it and it looks good, it goes back, it goes in the bag that you're holding things in. So I was like very understanding of the situation. I was like, I've never done this before. Like I never went and, you know, did any of the work. People would share with me, and they knew better than to give me stuff that they knew I wasn't going to eat because of me. But at the same time, like, it was very exciting to experience that, because they also had different flavors that I didn't even know anything about. Like, and I don't mean like that, but like I've never had Chester's chicken, really. My mom would go and buy it, but like we were never home for that, and she would share it with my friend Sam instead, because she was always there for that, and like they got along differently. So whatever. Yeah, like my mom had good taste in chicken apparently, and we didn't used to eat fast food as a family, so it was not really it wasn't really in my life. So like it was also another unique way for me to really taste things that I've never tasted before. And when I got money, I was up in Chester's Chicken, because you can get what you need for like $10, and it's delicious and filling. And let's see, the donuts too, sometimes they would have Chinese food on them. You don't eat those. You don't eat those. They don't taste like donuts. That's not the same concept. But like sometimes they'll have like a little bit, and it'll be a donut you really like. And I wouldn't take a lot of donuts either. I would take like, because someone else went in and got this, I didn't go and get this. And so it was just really fun for me to learn how to do certain things and whatnot. And some people would actually throw out like bags of chips and stuff, and the Lord would just, you know what I mean? Like, he was really good at bringing things to me when I needed them, and when I wanted to try something different in general. But most of the time, there was the 7-Eleven that would give away free hot dogs if you were hungry. So you could come in and they'll let you hook it up too, like whatever you want on it. Especially the girl, she likes us. And if you were someone that wanted to put in more work, I say someone that wanted to put in more work, because I did ask once, like, can I do a little, like, can I sweep the parking lot to get a little extra food or whatever. But she was just like, oh, you don't have to do that, babe. And then she like gave me a bunch of donuts, and because she didn't want to have to like write down that she gave the expired food, because like they'll give you food that is a day old. Can you go away? It's like the cars that are just like really loud. I try not to let all these things irritate me. Normally they don't, but like while I'm talking, I hate that. Yeah, I hate that. And so like she would give, it was just an adventure, because sometimes they wouldn't have the hot dogs, or they wouldn't be ready, and they'll give you like sandwiches. You know, sandwiches from 7-Eleven are pretty daggone good. Like, they're delicious. And like that was also how I was able to like get different flavors in me and stuff like that. And people that would see me around, they would give me money if they saw me and the Lord said so, because really people didn't just give me money. It wasn't like that at all. Like, because we don't ask, and we're not like begging with a sign or anything like that, which it would probably be asking. It's kind of the same thing, but not really. Like, the Lord brings those people, and it'll be someone like I've never seen in my life before, and they'll be like, I've seen you around, I see you every day. And sometimes it'd be like school lunches. Well, okay, it was one time it was a school lunch. It was like a bunch of school lunches and stuff, but this was like, yeah. And so then what happened that night, we're going forward, because I wanted to tell you the past of that beforehand. So the night before we decided to come out here, we were like, okay, we're going to go on a journey, because we're going to go and get this ourselves. It was fun. It was really fun. So it just happened to be trash day that day. And it had also kind of just gotten dark. I think, yeah, it was around 7 or so. So people had just put their trash out. And that's the thing too, is like, you want to get it when it's just out or hasn't been buried under random stuff, because no, don't do that. So, so like they were all lined up in front of the houses, and I believe it was, yeah, because Halloween had probably just passed at this point, because we came out here on the 5th, and I believe the first or second of November was when we were at our friend's house. So like it was kind of just like a journey, but like the Lord did it on a good day. I was just like, I'm gonna go do this. And so like we looked and we were like, we look cute when we're doing anything, and it just makes me laugh because it's just like, how do you look good doing what it is that you were doing right now? And literally I would take the little lid, lift it up, I would lift it up just like that, see if there's anything worth doing anything for it. Like honestly, like I would look in the recycle before anything, but if I would read the energy of the trash cans. I really would. I was just like, oh, I found a whole container of cake that, like they had a party and they didn't eat all of it and they put it there. And so I'm like, I found it. We found this. I was like, good. And then we also found, what else did we find? We found, the cake was it was beautiful. Like it was delicious. It was delicious. We also found a bunch of like Chex Mix, but it was like M&M Chex Mix. Like I can't really remember what was really going on with that Chex Mix, but they didn't like anything other than the Chex Mix. I think it was because it was sweet instead of salty. I don't remember, but I do remember that I liked it because I like bread. I like things. Oh, we found bread. We found bread. What else did we found? Like we found like a whole, like a loaf of bread, and they took out like 2 slices. They didn't like it, and they tied it back up and put it in the trash can. Like they didn't like that. And I found a container to put it in too. It was a styrofoam ice chest thing, one of those things, and then it had a lid. And because I'm not supposed to be walking around with like I have my backpack on my back. No, I didn't have anything to carry anything. That was actually the issue. Yeah, I usually have my backpack, but nah, we didn't have it. We did not have it. And so it was really cool because we got to use that styrofoam thing as like a pillow to hold, our head. And then, not only that, I think we found chips, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember that. We found some donuts that had like crumb coating on it, and we're gonna use that on the cake because I don't like when people put buttercream on the cakes, and just a lot of buttercream on the cake. So, whatnot. And so I also had to find a fork as well. And earlier that day, I was like, I should have asked for a fork. Oh yeah, and another thing is I couldn't go in the stores anymore because the Lord told me to throw my mask away. So that really got to me as well. Like he was taking that option away, that codependency feeling. He was taking it away and replacing it with, you can do this by yourself because we want you to do this for you right now. Like this is your action moment. And I'm like, got it. So even though I felt like I was doing, even though I felt like I could have been betraying him by going back on my word, I wouldn't even say word because I didn't agree to fasting that time. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Like if we feel it coming up and we understand, we'll do it. It depends on what part of the journey, but that specifically, like, I just didn't want to go and do that because beforehand, that wasn't our path. Our path was to get it brought to us. We asked the Lord for something, he brings it to us. That was a lot different. However, in this moment, it was just like, you can do it. And so even though I felt at first like I was crying and we were walking, like, I don't know where we're about to go, but we got this, because I can't climb in dumpsters. I don't do that. I don't do that. I do not do that. It's not like I can't climb in jail. I can. It depends. We don't climb fences. We do not rip our pants trying to climb anything. And, you know, in the off chance that I actually get into the dumpster, how am I going to get back out? I am not that kid. So the Lord made things easier for me because he knows my abilities and what we are willing to do for certain things. I'm not trying to get in the trash can anyway, because who's going to wash my clothes other than us? Also, couldn't really wash clothes at that point because I was wearing them. And at that time, we had taken out our piercings too. We didn't have our underwear. We were just wearing what we were wearing. And praise the Lord, I'm glad we like wearing things braless and stuff. Like, we had to put water. We made sure to keep ourselves clean, but we didn't have our hygiene anymore. Like, that all got thrown away and sacrificed to the Lord because that was what he wanted, and that is what we understood. And we were trying to get out of Fresno years ago, to be honest. And so we were like, I'm not trying to hold myself back. That's also what really helps me do what we need to do in order to live our lives, is that I don't want to stay stuck in the same place. I don't want to stay stuck in the same mindset. I don't want to see this lesson again. And if I do, I want to be better than what I did before, because I just don't want to be a part of my problem ever. So we're always forward moving in that way. And so, you know, I'm not getting no dumpster, because then that opens up the vibration of, okay, so she's okay with getting in the dumpster. That's how she's going to get her food from now on. And that's not what I wanted. But genuinely, out of fun, I wanted to experience this, because I'm like, I've had the food before. I understand that I can find what I need to find if we, you know, find it. Like, if we go and do it ourselves, we can do this, because we stake out situations, like wherever we journey for. We've walked all over Fresno, but like, not for that. Not for that. We stayed in the neighborhood, because that would be stupid. But like, we didn't get no donuts. That did not happen, which was perfectly fine. It's fine. I love sweets. I love cookies. And yeah, we would also shop at the Dollar Tree. Whenever we would get like any type of money, straight to the Dollar Tree. And we were able to eat good, because we were able to, you know, do it right. Like, we would get Lay's stacks or whatever flavors that we wanted, because we like chips. You got to have the, you know, the basics. You got the chips, and then the cookies, and then something to drink if you can get something to drink. But genuinely, like, most of the time we drank a lot of water, and it was very blessed to have soda at any point in time. So we were happy about that. And so, so we would eat the Lay's potato chips, and we started storing things in there. We would store food in there. We started storing our art in there as well. We started using it as like as a container to pour water, like as our evolution kind of had to drop more stuff. And we were like, okay, so we have this and we'll use it. So we made those things very active. So we were always switching out stacks containers. And in the stacks containers specifically, yes, we were able to store food, and this helped when we would eat Chester's chicken. We would like cut it up and save it in there, or we would just put it in there. It depends on what we're doing. But specifically, we would eat them, and then we would also buy the 5-pack of ramen noodles. In general, not the cup noodles. Stop giving that to people. Stop it. I don't care. Stop it. Stop it. Those are an abomination. Those are an abomination. Unless you're in Japan, those are an abomination. Stop it. I cannot. Yeah. So basically, we would have ramen. We would have the 5-pack, or we would have, like, we would break it up, and like, we were really good at organizing our stuff. So like, we always had what we needed, because the Lord made it so. And so we would just like break up the ramen, put some cold water in it, because we didn't have hot water. We could have went into a gas station or something like that, because they all like us. Anybody we deal with, they like us enough to help us out with anything for as minimal as they will let us do. So with hot water, I know that wouldn't have been a problem, but I didn't want to rely on that, because I would have to go in there and do that all the time when I could just put some water in it. You know what I mean? So that's what we did. We had 2 bottles of water we would keep on us, one for the showering motions and whatnot, and one for not the showering motions, like what we would normally drink. But we would use both afterwards, store it up with water, and we would put those in there, and we would make ramen all the time. We always had ramen, and it was so delicious. And then at some point, the Lord was like, okay, you're tired of ramen now. And I'm like, for real? So I couldn't eat it ramen anymore, but it was delicious, like dealing with different flavors and stuff. We used like the sauces from Chester chicken in it too. Like that was a lot of fun. So when we had money to do things, we would switch everything up. Like we would really, we started putting our noodles on the chips, and like, oh, it was great. It was great. It makes you really grateful for a lot of things in general. I didn't even finish the story about the dumpster diving. I call it dumpster diving because I don't really know what else to call it, but like I didn't get in no dumpster. I couldn't do that. That's not for me. I guess I could explain it a little bit. I have time, I suppose. I think I got like 3 minutes on the thing. And so that night we went, like I said, we found cake. We found a couple things. We also found some taters. I think they were like cheesy tots from Jack in the Box. And they were even low-key still kind of warm. But at the same time, like, I ate it. And I was like, interesting. And then we threw it away because we were like, I could see why they threw that away. Like, it tasted like that's what they were supposed to taste like, and that is why they got thrown away. But I want to try them in real life. Like, they were like a midnight snack or something. And then we went and circled around because we also ended up we went to 7-Eleven, and we went in, I believe we went in because we had found a mask. That was the first time I had ever put someone else's mask on my face. That was a new experience. But it wasn't like we had to, be picky about that too, because obvious reasons. And genuinely, that's not for me. And so like we found that, but to shield us from the actual mask, we like got newspaper that we had picked up out of the recycle, and we would like tear it in there, and we're like, okay, it's in here. And at the same time, like nobody knows that's in there, and I can still breathe. Perfect. And so like we went in there and we're like, do you have any extra food that you can give us? And she gave us some interesting cranberry wrap. It was a cranberry ranch wrap. It was so interesting. I met someone that day, and we talked about God for a second, and then like he slipped back into his vibration when someone else came up. And then I went and I checked out the dumpster behind there, because usually there's a lot of stuff there that you can find too. However, I found candy, I found a lot of coffee, ground coffee that has nothing to do with me, and a bag of Cheetos. I think I found a bag of Cheetos, but I don't think we ate those. Oh, I think it was like I don't think we ate those, because I think they might have been open and they were not, we didn't eat that. But we found a candy corn, and it was my first time eating candy corn past being a child, so I was like, okay. And then we circled back around after we decided that we weren't finding anything else that we were looking for, and we went to Little Caesars. And Little Caesars is a little bit of a walk out, so we were like, it's about 10 right now. That's when they close. It's probably the perfect time to go and handle that, because they have to throw those hot and readies away. So I went to the door, got there, and they were like, I was just like, do you have any extra pizzas that you were going to throw out tonight? Because they were closed. They were cleaning, He's just like, no. And I was like, is the dumpster open? He's like, oh, we already threw them out. And, oh no, he just said no. And then I was just like, is the dumpster open? And he's like, yeah, it's unlocked, but I don't think you'll find anything. Straight up went over there. I was just like, where? I was like, where is that? And he pointed. I went there. No shame. Went over there. And I'm so glad we went. That was like the best day ever, to be honest with you, because we found warm pizza. Just thrown out. A lot of it. A lot of crazy bread. Your girl loves crazy bread. And it was very warm. And so, like, I got that. And I put it in the dough bags because I worked at Me and Ed's. So, like, I was very familiar with what those bags were, even without reading them, obviously. But I was like, I'm going to use that. And it was just so much fun because I got all of it. And, like, I'm about to eat this because I love Little Caesars. I don't like what it does to your belly, though. Every single time. Whether I bought it or that time where I didn't buy it, like, I pooped. a lot. Yeah. And then I came to LA. And then I tell people about this story. I don't tell people a lot about it because they always look at me like stunned, like they don't understand and whatnot. But I'm just like, you really have to not put yourself in someone else's shoes, but like understand that it's not as bad as you make it to be, especially if you're a Sagittarius. I'm gonna just be real about that. Like, I feel like my experience has been a lot different because I'm a Sagittarius, and like, I was looking at it for a lot of fun. I was trying to have fun with the situation because I felt so happy. Like, I felt so free. I'm like, yeah, I'm rogue. Like, being rogue is not all bad, but definitely not all good. And I never meant to be rogue, but like, if I'm going to be, I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to do my best with it and live my life because it's my life. And so that made me really happy because we got what we wanted. So then the next day, we gave the leftover food to someone else, someone that doesn't need our help because he chooses not to help himself. And we gave it to him because he was on the way to my friend's house, because the next morning we were like, we're going to do this. We should just run away. If we're going to do this, we might as well just run away. And then immediately God was just like, do you want to? And literally, I meant like run away in general. Like, I didn't want to be in Fresno anymore. Like, I never planned on being there for that long, and I did not know how to leave. And everybody kind of like abandoned the idea of taking me. And when it wasn't time to take me, they wanted to offer to take me, but like different cycles and different times. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna just handle it myself. And so it was nice because it was the first time where I was just like, okay, we're gonna go do this. I don't care how we get there. I was planning on hitchhiking. I found out that's illegal. I didn't do it. I just found out it's illegal. How interesting. All the things you see in anime are just straight up illegal. It's so annoying. And so then we went to our friend's house, and we just wanted to take a shower. And basically, like, we asked her to help us, with the situation in general, because we didn't have anything else. And she was like right next to where we were. Like, everybody's always around me. They just choose not to come and see me. But she would always come and see me when when she would go to the park and I would be there. And so that was pretty cool. But yeah, nobody would just come and see me, and nobody offered really any help of anything genuinely. Like, if you really wanted to offer me help, you would bring it with you. You would be like, I know what Mia likes, I'm gonna bring it. But thus that was not done. However, I'm very happy about it because there was a lot of internal battles happening in that time, but even though it was a little bit difficult, I was dead set on coming to Long Beach because that was my whole, like I said, I wasn't supposed to be in Fresno in general, but like obviously I was because it happened. And then she ended up just helping us out. The Lord put it on her heart. The Lord had to definitely put it on her heart because it almost did not happen, but it did, and I'm so happy about it. And we had gotten a new phone. They helped me out with that, and that was really nice. And the Lord helped me out with that too, because they're like, you can't get anything if you don't have food stamps, if you don't have Medi-Cal, and you don't have your ID. And I was just like, am I even an American at this point? Like, why are you like this? But I didn't say anything. I was just like, oh, okay, thank you. Like, I let her know that I was homeless. Like, there was, it's supposed to be to help people out, but they're like, we need this stuff. And then this lady that worked there, I'm assuming now, she was like, oh, I have a phone you can have. And so like, it was one of the phones from the booth, and it was in a box. She's like, I already set it up yesterday, and she gave it to us. And that phone stayed with us for a cool minute. Then eventually we got our own phone from the same situation, but we ended up having to throw that one away because it was time for it to leave our lives. And also it was a better phone, but like define better, because really like its internal memory, I don't know, like it was slow when it wanted to. I couldn't even hang up when I got off the phone. It was just something like it just looked nice, and that was about it. Like that phone, it was appreciated, but I'm glad that we ended up getting this one. And Yeah, and this one will be replaced at some point, but I genuinely feel like it'll stay with us until we get another one, because now we're actively using it a lot more too, for obvious reasons. So we'll see how that goes. And we officially opened our business and we're able to do so. So yeah. Oh, I was trying to tell you about Sweet Jill's. But yeah, Sweet Jill's, at a certain point at night, probably like 9:30 to 10ish or whatever, you can go back there and they'll have just thrown out a bunch of pastries and stuff. And so that's what I was eating at some points, because it was good. But like their pastries also taste different. Like they have like a different recipe or something. Like I don't know what it is. The flour, the shortening. I don't freaking know. And so right now, my feeling was just like, if we go and do anything like that, we'll have to admit to people that we did that, because now we're documenting these things openly. Although it was never a secret, but at the same time, I really want to see what the Lord will bring me if I'm just patient, you know? Like, because I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm having a great time. We're having so much fun, but genuinely, you know, like I can't take it anymore. But we've proven ourselves to ourselves, because I didn't want to keep having a fit when this types of things happen, and I didn't want to badmouth the Lord, because probably two or three good times we've actually we've had some words with the Lord because of how good we are to Him, and how we've been treated in rebuttal to that. However, we already knew we were wrong. Like we already knew that it was for a reason and that it was a lesson, and we knew what the lesson was. It's like we were meant to do this like this, to show people that you can live your life without money and with the Lord only. So when I say I work for the Lord, people don't go, oh, so you work for like the ministry or something? Like they don't get it. And then for a while I didn't get it, but like I understand it now. Like I am the percentage of the world that people don't choose to be a part of, because they don't know how to live that life, and they look down on it. Like I'm a free spirit, but I seen what you did yesterday, and I seen what you did to tomorrow, you know, and I will run your business and not into the ground, you know. Like, so it's like that whole mindset of feminine energy not being important enough, but the inspiration alone, the motivation alone, like God alone really has brought me through so many parts of my life that I never really thought that I would have been a part of. Now I can save chicken for a day if I need to. And I know that I won't get sick off of it because my mindset is different. But I know that when my life changes and I don't need to do that anymore, then it will show that I don't need to do that anymore. So the Lord adjusts things for you. Like the world was my natural refrigerator as well, and kept things cool for me at night. And it was just very beneficial. I have more food stories actually. I thought about that, but not for this time because this video is over an hour long, and plus the video that I gotta attach to this, which is probably like three minutes or so. So that's enough time for that. But I will tell the church story. I think it's more of my experience at church. So I feel like maybe that's why it's a separate story, but yeah. So I hope that helps somebody out, because genuinely it's not that bad. And I do mean not that bad, and like it's actually a lot of fun. Like if you let it be fun, it will be fun. I'm having fun right now, but I would be having even more fun with, you know, food. So praise the Lord. That is the only thing that's really on my mind right now. But that's not true, because He's also giving us more things to do, more activities to do. Like we're actively doing instead of just being, and that does make things a lot easier for us now, because we're able to participate in a outward way. Ow. So yeah, I hope that helps somebody out. It's not a big deal if you got to do what you got to do. Just be smart about it. There are other like little stories that have to do with dumpster diving, but like I wasn't like diving. I'm not gonna explain that every time, but you get the point. All right, but yeah, that's it. All right, praise the Lord.